Today, it's the third annual Red River Rumble F1 Powerboat Showdown from Shreveport, Louisiana. We're actually on the Red River, which splits Shreveport and Bossier, Louisiana, right down the middle. Hi, everybody. Ralph Shaheen alongside Tim Siebold. Bonnie Jill Laughlin will be joining us in a little bit. Tim, the Red River is ready to rumble once again.
It is in absolute perfect water conditions this weekend.
Here's the third member of our broadcast crew, Bonnie Jill Laughlin.
Thanks, guys. Here with Dylan Anderson, who is our last year's winner. Now, I got to ask you, you said that last year, it's a little different from this year. What is the biggest difference you're seeing?
Yeah, the biggest difference is going to be the way the Red River is actually treating us this year. Last year and the year before, it was kind of rough, kind of beat up on us. It was 20 foot high, flooded, river flowing, 5 to 10 mile an hour current. This year, it's flat, calm, slow current, easy to drive. Do what you want rather than react to the water the entire time. So I'm really excited. I think everybody else probably is just the same. I mean, not only is it a lot more fun to drive on, it's more competitive, really lets you show kind of what you can do and what the boat can do. So yeah, that's the biggest difference anyway.
How is your morning test going so far? How'd you like it?
Yeah, so we had a quick testing session before qualifying this morning. Felt good in testing. Actually had better lap times this morning than we did all day yesterday. Went into qualifying, laid down a good lap. First lap, got us on the pole position. We were in the last group, so we were pretty confident that was going to hold, but we had the time and kept going and kept getting better time. So, yeah, pretty happy with it. Excited to see how the racing goes.
You told me you are superstitious. The full beard, you didn't shave anything. What happened? Just no stash. You got to do a little more.
Yeah, so, I mean, my typical go-to is shave everything but the mustache on the way into a race, and on the way here last year, we were coming off some bad luck in the first race. We won, made a mistake, got disqualified. Just silly mistake on our side of things. Came in here, didn't trim it up, left the beard around, and got back on the A train and started winning again. So we're going to stick with that, see how that goes.
I like it. Well, thank you so much. Good luck, okay? Be safe.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
All right, Bonnie, thanks. Tim, if he has a good run here, boy, he's going to be pretty furry by the time we get to the end of the season.
That's right. But look at the starting grid. He absolutely laid down a scorcher for pole.
But he's going to have Chris Rinker right there with him, who finished second in our last race in Port Neches, Texas, and Rinker's got a lot of momentum going.
He does, but he switched back to the two-stroke package for this weekend.
They can run a two-stroke or a four-stroke, and it's really up to each racer what they're feeling because performance-wise, the engines are pretty similar. Here we go, and Rinker does not get a good start here, Tim, in heat number 1.
He got left at the dock, and that's a bad position to be in because once everybody gets down to the corner, they can take your lane away.
Jared Jensen, who finished third in Texas, got a real good start, and Dylan Anderson, beard and all, he's at the front of the field.
Man, they really got bunched up back there where Rinker was, so hopefully they made it all through the corner. But you're running under a bridge here, so that gives you a little updraft whenever you go underneath that bridge.
There's Anderson right there, the racer out of Nashville, who Bonnie Jill was talking to at the beginning of the show. And Spencer Love in the 24 is now in front of Jared Jensen, and Spencer Love was the winner of our most recent race.
He had a great event down in Port Neches. The Red River's a lot tighter, and those starts are going to be crucial for Spencer this weekend.
He led every single one of the more than 30 laps down there in Texas, so he really has a good setup. We'll see if the 24 can do it all again here in Louisiana. And issues there for Rinker. Rinker's 52 is pulled to the inside of the course. He's out of heat number 1, and Anderson continues to lead.
Anderson's got that thing on rails right now. Spencer is keeping Jared at bay behind him, but Dylan Anderson, number 17, out front.
And a quick look at Reno in the 34 there, that silver boat. Reno having a pretty good run here early on.
Yeah, Jeff's got that mole guard running good this weekend, so he is one of those consistent guys that just likes to be in the, around the top 5.
There's a good look at the bridge. You can see the boats running underneath. You see Rinker sitting still in the water inside of that. Tim, this is the first time we've raced under a bridge this year in the 2026 season. How does that affect these boats?
You get a little bit of air updraft when you go underneath the bridges, So you'll notice these guys, they're looking at the water, they're seeing what the water's doing, the current's doing, and then on top of it, they've got to be careful of the bridge because it lifts the boat up.
You can see how much air gets packed up underneath in the tunnels as they come off the corners and accelerate, but you want that, Tim. That's how these boats actually work best, is getting that air packed up under those tunnels.
That's right. You see the tunnel down the middle. So you've got two sponsons that you're running on. And when you're running on top end, if you have a foot of the boat in the water, that's optimal. Then when you get to the corner, you trim it down, wet more of the running surface, make the 4G corner, and immediately you're on the up button before you even halfway through the corner, getting the air packed underneath it to accelerate.
Yeah, air under can be a good thing. Too much air under, that's a bad thing. You go up and over. And problems here for that white boat.
Aiden Benton still has the dock pole. His crew had it locked on there, and he's running around with it, which is fine as long as it doesn't come off.
Benton in that number 98 out of Ontario, Canada. He got upside down in Texas and had to climb out from underneath that boat. He was okay, but boy, a rough afternoon for him there in Canada, in Texas, the driver out of Canada.
He is. You know, he's getting to terms with this boat. Port Neches was the first race that he had driven it. So he's still figuring out, you know, the little quirks and how it handles in different situations.
Meanwhile, that Nashville native Anderson out front having a great run in boat number 17.
He is. They've got that Anderson Marine boat just humming right now. And there you see number one coming up, trying to make a pass on Aiden Benton.
That's Dustin Terry, the 2025 champion. Didn't win a race in 2025, but claimed the title. And he's got an issue there, and Anderson's going to put him a lap down as he comes up the inside.
I think him and Aiden Benton might have got together back there, and it might have caused a problem.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Doesn't look like it did any damage to Benton, though. He continues on.
There's definitely no problem for 17.
Yeah, boy, he's got a great run going here in that beautiful blue number 17. And this one winding down, just 30 seconds and a lap to go.
You know, he's got a cushion built up that allows him to be able to take his time going through lap traffic, so he doesn't have to push it.
Nice smooth run up front for Anderson. Benton trying to keep pace with him. Spencer Love back and forth. Dustin Terry holding on to fifth. And Benton, who we're watching there, is running in sixth with Reno in seventh. And Yates back there rounding out the top 10. Behind is Schubert and the 52 of Rinker, who's sitting to the inside.
Well, the number 99 of Travis Yates, that's a different boat for him. He jumped in that DAC boat at Port Neches, so he's still trying to figure it out.
Anderson really started to come up to his game when we were in Texas, Tim. He didn't have as good a weekend in Florida at the season opener in Bradenton, but boy, when we got to Texas, this 17 really started to come to life.
They have. One of the things that they struggle with is, are they going to run the two-stroke or the four-stroke boat? And I think they finally figured out that the four-stroke is where they want to be.
Well, after taking the win here in heat number one, it's certainly going to make them think a lot about this four-stroke being the right package for them.
Yeah, it looks like they made the right choice.
Heat number one, that beard's going to keep growing, that's for sure, Tim.
That's right. Let's see how he does off the end of the dock.
That's where he'll line up as we get ready for Heat 2 coming up here shortly. Let's take a look at the results here. Anderson, Love, Jensen, Mayo, and Jeff Reno, your top four in Heat number one, with Jimmy Kerr rounding out the field. Here's a look at how it got underway, and Tim, he got a rocket start, and that made all the difference.
He has so much mid-range, so that propeller engine package that he has come up with is really working good.
Problems for some of the other competitors here. But so far, everything is a go for most of the racers here at the third annual Red River Rumble F1 Powerboat Showdown, and we'll be back for more after this. The 2026 Red River Rumble is being brought to you locally by Raising Cane's, One Love, the Shreveport-Bossier Sports Commission, fueling the fun. Visit Shreveport-Bossier, 2 cities, 1 heart. The Red River Waterway Commission, fostering economic growth and recreational development. Samstown Hotel and Casino, Shreveport. Come home to Samstown. And the Louisiana Office of Tourism, feed your soul. Time to go racing for heat number 2. So Tim, let's take a look at our IHRA F1 Powerboat lineup for heat number 2.
Well, Chris Rinker starts at the front of the pack since he had that problem in heat 1, along with Jimmy Kerr.
It's been an interesting start to the season for Rinker. Didn't make the podium at the season opener in Bradenton, was second in Texas, and has problems here in heat number 1. So he's been up and down throughout the year.
Well, I think him and Grant Schubert got together in that first turn. Here we go.
And Rinker in that bright yellow boat, not a great start, but at least he's moving, which is much better than he was in heat number 1.
That's right. He got a horrible start the first heat.
And there's Jensen right there out front. He's running great. There you see Rinker buried back at about 5th right now.
Jensen was shot out of a cannon there. That thing is just came off the dock, fantastic, and puts him in the lead.
And Jensen's been on the podium at both of our first 2 races of the year, so he is right now the guy. If you want to go through the championship, you're going to have to go through Jared Jensen for sure.
Man, he came a long way from last year when he blew over at the first event. He has really matured and he's coming into his own.
You can see the 98 right there. That's Benton. Benton getting upside down at Texas at the last race of the season, and so far here today running much better. But here comes Anderson, running that number 17 out of Nashville.
Jared Jensen still out front, leading the way with Spencer Love behind him and Jeremiah Mayo behind him.
That's a real family business that the Andersons run there, isn't it, Tim?
It sure is. I used to race with his dad, Ray, for many years. Ray has the marine dealership over near Nashville, so it's a great family business.
Family involved as his pit crew as well, as we see Rinker in that bright yellow boat just in front of him right there.
Chris Rinker in the 52 in the yellow boat is starting to gain on Jeremiah Mayo in the 8 boat, the Ray Bob's boat.
Rinker, as we said, second at the last race in Texas at Port Natchez. So he's starting to find his way here in 2026 and going to make a charge towards this championship.
Well, Chris Rinker had to switch boats because him and Grant Schubert in the 13 got together in that first heat. So they both had to switch boats. So Chris is in his 2-stroke boat, and Jeremiah Mayo gave his backup boat to his teammate, Grant Schubert.
And that's the Texas winner right there, Spencer Love. And boy, he was dominant over in Texas. He really stood up and told everybody, hey, I'm here to fight for this title in 2026.
And it's interesting, after the race, Spencer said, look, I just need to stay in my lane, which what he meant by that is, look, I need to do the things that I do well and do them well and not try and worry about everything else.
And what he did well in Texas was lead laps because he led every single one, and it all began with a great start.
That's right. The start is everything. So, especially on a tight river when you're running under a bridge like we are here on the Red River, it's very crucial.
That Clover Construction number 24 out of California having a great run here again in Louisiana. And Jimmy Kerr in the 71 right there, also known as Pickle. He's running in the top 5 here today in heat number 2.
There's Grant Schubert in that 4-stroke Hoffman hull.
Schubert normally in a bright red boat, but as you mentioned, having issues with that here today, running a backup machine.
He's doing a great job for never being in that boat before.
Yeah, and so's Pickle right here in that 71. I love that bright green boat. Green supposedly, Tim, if you're superstitious when you go racing, green not the color you want, but boy, it hasn't slowed Pickle down at all.
Wow. Race leader Jared Jensen drops out. Spencer Love inherits the lead now.
Not sure what happened to Jensen, but boy, what a shame for him.
Well, guess what? You got to finish all the laps in order to get those points, and it's crucial to get points every single time you're out there. We'll have to figure out what happened.
And as you mentioned, Spencer Love said, I just got to keep being consistent. He has been consistent again here today in heat number 2. Problems befall his competitors, and Love finds himself back in the lead looking for another good point score.
He does. Spencer out front doing a great job, and Jeremiah Mayo's right behind him, but you know, catching somebody and then passing them are two different things.
Spencer Love with his 2 daughters, racers as well. They're just as tough as Dad, boy.
Chris Rinker's still in the hunt, too.
And Spencer Love will take the win here in heat number 2. So Spencer Love puts himself in a good position as we get ready for heat 3 coming up after this. As the train goes over the bridge, Spencer Love goes to the top of the podium here in heat number 2. 1.1 seconds out in front of Jeremiah Mayo.
Dylan Anderson, Heat 1 winner, comes home in 4th place.
And here's the start.
Wow, look at Jensen.
And Love was right in the thick of it, wasn't he?
Oh my gosh. He was in there, but the start really was Jared Jensen. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful start.
Still not sure what the problem was for Jensen, because once he got out front, Tim, he was strong all the way until mechanical issues befell his efforts to get the win here.
We'll see if we can't get a little insight on what happened.
Some of the beautiful sights and scenes from here at the Red River Rumble. We're coming right back to Louisiana. Stay with us. The 2026 Red River Rumble is being brought to you locally by Raising Cane's, One Love, the Shreveport-Bossier Sports Commission, fueling the fun. Visit Shreveport-Bossier, 2 cities, 1 heart. The Red River Waterway Commission, fostering economic growth and recreational development. Samstown Hotel and Casino, Shreveport. Come home to Samstown. And the Louisiana Office of Tourism, feed your soul. Ready for Heat 3 of the IHRA F1 Powerboat Series from here at the Red River Rumble. It's the 3rd time the IHRA F1 Powerboat Series has been here to the Red River, in between Shreveport and Bossier, Louisiana, one on each side of the banks of the river here, Tim.
Well, these guys are all lined up. Here we go.
Race getting underway, heat number 3. Who's going to get the start here as this one gets underway? Looks like Jensen on the outside maybe is going to get the best start. He's got Rinker inside of him, but Jensen's got the jump on everybody with Anderson outside of him. Rinker up the inside. Here comes Rinker in that beautiful yellow boat coming after Jensen. They're going to be hull to hull as they go down underneath the bridge. Look at this battle.
Deck to deck.
Rinker on the inside pulling that big 4.5 G turn. He's going to get the lead.
Good couple turns by Chris Rinker. Look, he stayed on the inside. Jensen had to be on the outside. He got in a little of the rough water from the start, and there goes Chris.
And there's Jeremiah Mayo to the inside of that Ray Bob Seasoning Pack number 8. And Tim, he's decided to run the 2-stroke here in Louisiana.
He went for the agile handling package, but guess what? Number 17 on the outside has got that horsepower. Look at the mid-range.
Boy, the muscle in Anderson's number 17, the blue boat, making all the difference down these long straightaways.
He comes over, takes the lane away. He's got plenty of overlap. He skips out a little bit there.
Sure did. That boat really moved around on. We're watching Anderson in that big blue number 17 coming at you right here. And then here's Kerr in the green 71.
Trying to get past Travis Yates in the 99.
Yates out of Richmond, Texas, in the JH Performance Snap-on Tools machine. And here's Rinker.
Looking good.
Rinker in the 52 putting in a good run here in heat number 3. And Jensen out front here.
Jensen's got, you know, he keeps it tight to the inside, and he needs to kind of start looking at some different lines if he's going to catch Chris.
Yeah, Rinker's running in the lead. Jensen in second, but he's clean of this boat behind him here. Anderson giving chase from third. And then you got Mayo behind that in the 8 boat.
These guys, whoever gets in front, starts in front of the other one, they're so close.
And Tim, they're really going to have to think hard about that as they work on their setups for the main event yet to come.
Well, the big difference is they'll be carrying twice the fuel load as they are for the heat races, so that could change their propeller choice. It definitely changes where you set the motor up for the start.
And it's going to be a much longer race, that's for sure. It's going to change their setups dramatically. This one with 5 minutes left to go here in heat 3.
Right now, Chris Rinker's looking extremely comfortable out front. He is controlling the race. I don't see anybody pulling up on him. Jensen is there, but not close enough to make it to be a threat.
Rinker got his win last year at Alton, Illinois, and he's looking for his first win in 2026 here today on the river here at the Red River Rumble.
Yeah, that was Chris's first ever win in Formula One last year at Alton.
And here's Anderson in the 17, still in the hunt here.
Jensen is going inside, outside. He's trying to figure out where he can make some time up. It seems like in turns 1 and 2, he makes a little bit of headway, but then he loses it in 3 and 4.
Texas winner, Spencer Love on the inside in the 24 here.
Spencer just keeps clicking off the laps, running consistently, and this is going to give him a good starting position for the final.
Doing exactly what he said he wanted to do, Tim. Be consistent, just worry about his own race. He's doing that, and he's putting in really good lap times.
He is. Dylan Anderson, you know, a third place in this third heat. That will more than likely put him on pole for the final.
And Anderson hasn't been on the podium yet this year. This would be a great place for him to do that. Less than a minute and a half and a lap to go here in heat number 3 for Chris Rinker.
Chris has just got to keep it together. Again, Jensen is going inside, outside, and he's making some small mistakes trying to push it, but he's got to keep the pressure on.
Jensen's been on the podium at both of our first 2 races this year with a second and a third. Boy, he wants to get on that top step badly. Maybe it'll come here today.
Well, as we're winding down, it looks like Jeremiah Mayo in 4th position. Jimmy Kerr in 7th currently in the 71.
Plenty of lanes to go racing here on the Red River. A lot of options for these racers, but that inside line still seems to be the best one, Tim.
It is. Grant Schubert was in that number 13. He actually switched, so he's running Jeremiah Mayo's backup 4-stroke boat. He's doing a good job. First time ever in it. That's him in the middle there coming up the front straightaway.
Tough place to be in the middle between 2 boats, but at least it's down the straightaway, not through the corners. Clock going to zeros. We've got 1 lap to go.
Grant working on his teammate, Travis Yates. White flag for Chris Rinker.
Yeah, he's got to navigate 1 more lap around here in the Red River Rumble. And he'll take the win in heat number 3. Chris
Well
Rinker
deserved.
put a good one together here in heat 3. He's going to take the win, get himself ready for the main event. Jensen comes screaming up on the outside. just comes up short at the line, but he'll finish second as we take a look at the results. Jensen gets second behind Rinker, and Dylan Anderson has a nice run to third with Mayo and Love rounding out the top 5 here in Heat 3.
Dylan Anderson's probably going to be on pole.
He's had a good points day so far, that's for sure.
He sure has.
5.5 seconds behind Rinker at the finish of this one.
You know, it all starts with that qualifying position that Anderson had.
Yeah, that's made the difference for him so far, and he's put 3 good starts together, hasn't he, at the beginning of each of these heat races?
He sure has, because he's had to come from the back every time.
Yep. And it sounds easy and it makes all the sense in the world, but boy, it's not the easiest thing to do, but he's been really strong with it so far, as you'll see here. There he is on the outside, and look at him getting away from the rest of the field.
He's got a ton of mid-range right now, which helps you at the start.
Oh, a little bit of a bobble there in mid-corner, but he gathered it back up. We're going to come right back for the 3rd annual running of the Red River Rumble right after this. Stay tuned. The 2026 Red River Rumble is being brought to you locally by Raising Cane's, One Love, the Shreveport-Bossier Sports Commission, fueling the fun. Visit Shreveport-Bossier, 2 cities, 1 heart. The Red River Waterway Commission, fostering economic growth and recreational development. Samstown Hotel and Casino, Shreveport. Come home to Samstown. And the Louisiana Office of Tourism, feed your soul. Well, it's time now for the main event here at the 3rd annual Red River Rumble F1 Powerboat Showdown. The IHRA's F1 Powerboat Series in town for their 3rd race of the 2026 season. Tim, here's our starting lineup.
Dylan Anderson on pole like we suspected, but guess what? The starting expert, number 24, Spencer Love, right next to him.
Boy, you got to watch out for him. Here we go, getting ready for the start, and guess what? Love with another great start, but Anderson counters, and they're going to be deck to deck as they head to the first turn.
Everybody leaves number 8 of Jeremiah Mayo at the start line.
But Tim, it looked like Jensen got a great start too in that white and green boat. He's on the outside there of Rinker, and Rinker takes him very wide coming out of that corner.
They're all switching jockeying positions. They got to be careful coming into this corner, because that's where it's going to be really rough from the start, and their boats might skip out.
And there they are. That's Jensen right there in that white and green 29, and just in front of him, you catch the black engine cover, the bright yellow 52 of Chris Rinker.
Jeff Reno had a great start, running in 3rd right now.
He sure did. There's Reno in the 34. He's on the inside, right in between Jensen and Rinker.
Jared Jensen gets around him, goes around the outside. Jeff likes the number 1 lane, so he's going up the inside. Jared's setting sail far.
And look at Jimmy Kerr, Pickle on the outside here in the green 71. He's closing in on Reno, making a good run.
They're both having a great day. 17, Dylan Anderson got out front. He's got that huge mid-range right now, and that prop engine package is working great.
Jimmy Kerr's got some company to the inside as they head into the corner here.
Jeremiah Mayo making up some time after getting left at the dock.
And Mayo running that different engine combination here today, and it's still performing well, going from the 4-stroke to the 2-stroke here today.
Jeremiah looks good. He can really throw it into turns 1 and 2 and make up some time.
Kerr's going to get away from Reno here, but Reno giving chase on the outside. You can see the nose of that boat bobbing up and down, a little bit of a porpoise action going on for the 34.
Might have just a little bit too big of a prop. Jimmy Kerr looking good.
Yeah, he's trying to pull away. Nicknamed Pickle, driving that 71.
Well, those more boats really go through the corners.
Boy, and look at Anderson's boat, Tim, as he goes flying down the straightaway here. Sometimes it's just the tip of the prop and the edge of that inside sponson that's touching the water, and that's it.
That thing is running right on the tail section of the boat, which is what you want running on top end. And right now he's out front. He's able to pull a little bit of a lead, so he doesn't have to get in a hurry once they come up on the lap traffic, which is going to be significant here later in the race.
Rinker giving chase here, crossing over the wake, sometimes right in the middle of that rough water, sometimes to the inside, to the outside, just changing constantly as they give chase here and battling for the win.
Well, you see the heavy white water that's right in the middle of the boat, coming off the boat. Not the rooster tail, but the hard water. That has got a lot of air in it, and it's really hard to turn the boat over somebody else's wake on that hard water.
And that's where you get the white look to the water when you start mixing in all that air, correct?
That's right. That's right. And you don't want to try and turn it on top of that unless you absolutely have to, because the boat, it just rides on top of it and it doesn't really dig the sponson in like it normally does.
And like you need it to.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when you're cornering at 4.5 Gs.
Dylan Anderson, no problem right now. Looks like a cakewalk, but look, these guys are not going to let up.
Tim, this is what, an 8-round series this season, and Anderson not shaving that beard because it brought him good luck. If he wins here today and finally gets himself on the top step of the podium, he's going to be looking pretty bushy by the time we get to the end of the season.
Yeah, he'll look like a mountain man. But
yeah.
You know what? He kind of dug himself in the hole at the very first race, and he didn't get many points. Now he's playing catch up. But guess what? You know, you catch up, keep winning races.
Yeah, but he's got a lot of really hungry guys chasing him in the points, too. So it's going to be a tough fight all the way to the end of the year.
That's right. He's got number 24, Mr. Consistency, right behind him.
Yep.
So Spencer's just trying to collect those points week in, week out.
Spencer Love, Chris Rinker, Jared Jensen, they're all running good.
Well, right now, we have got a heck of a battle going on, and it looks like number 8 is starting to pick up a little bit because he got such a bad start.
Yeah, that's Jeremiah Mayo, and he is closing up on Jensen right now. And Jeremiah switched to that different engine combination. He went from the 450 to the 250 here this weekend, and it seems to be working okay for him.
It does, but look, Chris Rinker got caught on the outside going into the corner, and that allows Jared Jensen to make up a little bit of time. They're coming up on Grant Schubert.
Yeah, they sure are. Boy, track position, if you will, course position, making all the difference here today at the Red River Rumble.
It sure does. Grant's got him in a great position, running a different boat, different engine package, and guess what? He got a good start, and here he is. He's on a podium spot.
And here comes Jensen charging up the inside on Rinker. There he is right behind him, Rinker in the yellow 52. Jensen here in the white and green. Look at the momentum he's gaining up the inside as they go back up underneath the bridge.
Well, this is really good for number 13 because...
Jensen crosses over the wake, and that slowed him way down.
He did. He got on that hard water, and it pushed the front end and skipped out. But, you know, Grant Schubert needs these guys to fight behind him so they're not pulling up on him.
And meanwhile, Rinker just putting in another good lap. Beautifully turns that boat around 4.5 Gs and back up the other way he goes.
Jared Jensen
and Mayo.
Jeremiah Mayo chipping away, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's closing up now on Jensen as Jensen bobbled in that last corner, that last lap. Takes a wide line through there again, enters tight, lets it drift out wide, and meanwhile up front, this guy, Dylan Anderson, having a perfect day.
Yeah, you know, ever since they unloaded that boat out of the trailer this weekend, it has been spot on.
He came to this one focused as we watched from our drone hovering just above Chris Rinker.
Beautiful picture of the number 52 Sylvan Boat Company entry.
reaching speeds up over 120 miles an hour before they get to the corners, and then it's 4.5 Gs spinning around and back into the throttle hard as you go ripping back the other way.
Yeah, it seems like Jared Jensen in turns 3 and 4 is having a tough time setting the boat down there, and that's allowing not only Chris Rinker to get away from him a little bit, but it's allowing Jeremiah Mayo in the number 8 to reel him in.
Yeah, and that's going to be a problem because Mayo is really looking smooth here in the later stages of this one. About 9 minutes remaining in this main event here at the Red River Rumble, the F1 Powerboat Showdown.
Jeremiah's got that ability to be there at the end of the race after a long weekend. You know, some of these guys, I don't know if they get tired, lose concentration, but Jeremiah, he seems to be there running better at the end than he does the beginning.
Well, there's a lot of laps on the river on one of these weekends, and when you're pulling G's at over 4.5, man, that's a lot of wear and tear, not just on the boat and machinery, but certainly on the driver and their body.
It is, and mentally.
Yes.
You know, one of the biggest things is the concentration, the sustained concentration that you have to run a Formula One boat.
Your eyes constantly scanning everything in front of you, trying to pick up the most amount of information you can out of the water and what your competitors are doing around you.
Well, since we're on a river, the course is constantly changing. So not only are you dealing with the other boats' rooster tails, but you're also got to deal with the wind, the changing water conditions. So you might get a hole or a bump in turn 1 and 2, and before you know it, that's going to be down in 3 and 4.
And this year, or this week, just to make things difficult, you decided to throw in a bridge just to add a little more fun to it.
That's right. We don't want these drivers to have it too easy. So we want to make sure they're challenged, and we're also making sure that the best boat wins this weekend.
Tim, that's the first time in quite a few laps where I saw Jared Jensen actually stay to the inside all the way around those turns at the far end of the race course.
He finally got that thing to stick.
And it made a big difference. There he is, boat number 29, Jared Jensen, who was second at the season opener in Bradenton, Florida, and then third at the last race at Port Neches, Texas. And once again, looking to be on the podium here in Louisiana. 3 races and 3 podiums. Boy, that's how you get yourself to a championship.
It is. Chris Rinker was a little wide on 3 and 4 there, and Jared Jensen was able to keep it in lane 1 and make up some time.
One of these Mercury power plants just performing flawlessly at the front of the field here today. Some 2-strokes, some 4-strokes, but everybody with plenty of power here at the Red River Rumble.
That's right. You got a 4-stroke leading it. You got a couple 2-strokes right behind them. Well, you got and you got Grant Schubert in the mix too.
Yeah, sure do.
That's another 4-stroke.
And not the boat he was planning on running.
No, I'm really proud of him, man. He's doing a great job for just jumping in that boat. Not only a different boat, but also a different engine package. So it makes a tremendous difference.
There's Mayo right there in 4th. Right behind Jensen. The red front with the white back.
Right now, number 17, looking smooth. Spencer Love in 2nd, collecting those points. And then you got Grant Schubert in 3rd place right now. So
there's Reno.
fantastic.
Looks like he's lost the cover on the capsule to his boat.
Oh, his canopy lid. You're right.
Yes.
Came off. I don't know that that'll have a tremendous aerodynamics effect, but it's not good.
Stay with us. Coming back for the finish. The 2026 Red River Rumble is being brought to you locally by Raising Cane's, One Love, The Shreveport-Bossier Sports Commission, fueling the fun. Visit Shreveport-Bossier, 2 cities, 1 heart. The Red River Waterway Commission, fostering economic growth and recreational development. Samstown Hotel and Casino, Shreveport. Come home to Samstown. And the Louisiana Office of Tourism, feed your soul. We've got a good one going here at the 3rd Annual Red River Rumble, the F1 Powerboat Showdown for the IHRA's F1 Powerboat Championship. This is round number 3 of the 2026 season, and we're down to the final 4 minutes here on the Red River.
You know, this time in the race, it's been going on, and now some guys are getting tired, so we're going to have to see if that plays out at all.
I would think, though, too, Tim, as we look at Spencer Love, the winner of our last race over in Texas, we got a bunch of veterans at the front of the field. These guys have to be all pretty much focused in, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. You know, Dylan Anderson's been running that boat for a while. In the 17, number 24, Spencer Love's been running that boat for a while. And in 3rd place, though, you got the youngest driver and in a boat he's not familiar with.
Yeah, and you got Rinker in the mix here, too, so Rinker's going to be strong. He knows what he's doing. This is going to be a good fight to the finish. Let's see who's got a little bit more speed left.
Main thing for Grant Schubert in number 13 right there is the fact that he just needs to make no mistakes for the rest of the race. Don't make any mistakes, you'll get a podium.
Yeah, and then you saw a glimpse of Jeff Reno now running the convertible number 34. Top down or off on that one, as we should say.
Well, Chris Rinker's still looking good in 4th place. Jared Jensen right on him, though, as he's been the whole race.
I don't think Reno got into anybody. That latch must not have fit just tight enough, Tim, and maybe a little air got under there, and it just shows you how much pressure comes with that air. It could have just blown that lid right off the top of that boat.
Oh, these things are bouncing all over the place. They look fairly smooth on camera, but when you're riding in them, you're strapped in and they're moving all over the place. Jensen's able to stick it in 3 and 4. That's definitely helping him.
Yeah, he's gotten much, much better at that end of the race course, running tight to the buoys through there. And Rinker, you saw him drift out a little bit wide coming off those 2 corners. And it made all the difference in allowing Jensen to close up on him.
Yeah, second half of the race, Jensen's definitely got it to stick into 3 and 4. But he's got to go back and forth over Chris Rinker's wake, and that slows him down.
There he is again, tight. Gets through there well. Back up to over 120 miles an hour as they head to the other end of the race course. And we're down to less than a minute and a half to go here.
Well, he tried a different angle that time, staying in the inside lanes, you know, and that's what you have to do. Whether it works or not, you can't run the same line as the guy in front of you, so you got to keep switching it up.
As the old saying in racing goes, Tim, you got to go where the other guy isn't.
That's right, and that's where your crew comes in and your spotters. So that way they're the ones that got to keep telling you, look, that's working, keep that line, keep doing that.
See him wide on the entry there, and then he turns tight to the inside over 4.5 G's as he comes blasting through there. Big hard into the throttle and giving Rinker in that bright yellow boat a chase down to the other end of the race course. Look how deep into the corners they go at speed.
Yeah, you see the 2 corner strategies there. Rinker goes in, kind of makes it 1 corner, 1 big corner, where Jensen's making it 2 sharp corners.
Yeah, using a double apex approach, isn't he?
Exactly.
Everybody chasing this man, though. 17 of Dylan Anderson out front.
Last lap.
Looking for his first win of 2026, and it could come right here at the 3rd annual running of the Red River Rumble. The F1 Powerboat Showdown could be all Dylan Anderson in a couple more corners. Here he comes, powering off the final corner to the checkered flag. Dylan Anderson right there. You see the checkered markers in the water. Dylan Anderson out of Nashville, Tennessee wins it. here in Louisiana at the Red River Rumble.
Great weekend for Anderson Marine. Dylan did a fantastic job.
They sure did. And that puts him right in the thick of the points chase for the 2026 championship, which is exactly what he was hoping for and knew he needed. He couldn't let them get too much further away from him, Tim, in the points. And he did just what he needed. Spencer Love's second weekend in a row, he's on the podium. And Grant Schubert, by far his best run of the year, as he rounds out the podium with Rinker and Jensen closing out the top 5.
You know, you just wonder if number 52 and number 29, if they wouldn't have had those bad heat races where they broke down, how much different it would be in the final.
And you got to be thinking Grant Schubert might be thinking a lot about staying with this engine boat combination going on to our next race in Marble Falls, Texas.
Well, he's got to see what Jeremiah's wanting to do because it's his boat.
Yeah, when you're chasing a championship, you do whatever you need to make it happen, right? Let's go
That's
check
right.
in with Bonnie Jill Laughlin now with the winner.
Dylan Anderson, our F1 winner. First of all, how does it feel and how satisfying is it that you put together a win like that?
I could sit here and talk for 5 minutes and it won't explain it, right? I mean, it's just unbelievable to be able to do this with the people you love. Just happy to be here.
What do you think was the biggest factor, Dylan? Was it the speed, was it strategy, or just keeping a clean race today?
You know, I mean, you just got to be kind of consistent. You might not get the greatest starts, you might not get the greatest finishes throughout the heat races or qualifying, but you've always got a chance. Just got to kind of keep your head in there and keep fighting and keep, you know, if not for your crew keeping the boat ready to go, you're just doing half of it. I mean, there's another half going on in the pits all the time.
More importantly, who's getting the tab tonight?
Well, I guess we're going to Margaritaville or one of the casinos across the river, or maybe even one of them on this side, or I don't know, we might make a trip to all of them around here and see what happens. And,
You deserve it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Go enjoy that.
Thank you.
Timmy's going to maybe need to get a bigger helmet to fill that beard up in there.
Oh, yeah, but you know what? We're all going to Sam's Town, and they're paying the tab.
Sam's Town it is. I'm right with you. All right, that'll wrap things up from here at the 3rd Annual Red River Rumble. Next stop for the IHRA F1 Powerboat Championship, it's the Battle on the Colorado from Marble Falls, Texas. For Bonnie Jill and Tim Siebold, I'm Ralph Shaheen. So long, everybody.